Hi everyone, Alexis here. I am excited to present this video to you on how to look up your skincare ingredients so you can make informed, educated choice as to whether or not this is a product you want to spend your money on, this is a product you will get a result from, that this is a product that falls in line with your values. These are all things when I want to spend my hard-earned money on skincare, that's what it has to do for me. It has to work. I have to enjoy using it, and the company itself has to align with my values. I went to Sephora and I picked a very popular product to look at. We're talking about Kiehl's. If you're looking for just a specific product, you would just go into Google and search the name of the product and then full ingredient list in your Google, in your search. But because we are just curious about one skincare line overall, what I recommend doing is looking at the ingredient list of a serum. Serums should have the most active ingredients in them. Those are treatments. And then also, because they generally tend to absorb deeper into the skin and into our bloodstream, as opposed to, say, like a barrier cream or something that sits more on the surface, I'm really interested as to what is going to be going in there. And then, of course, with all of your products, you want to make sure that there are active ingredients because that's what you're paying for, the active ingredients. So let's just take a look here. So this is Kiehl's. This is a retinol skin renewing daily microdose serum. So one thing I wanted to point out first was here you can see clean at Sephora, and it's got a little leaf and a check mark. Any normal human being would look at that and say, oh, nice, this is a clean product. Great. But let's look further. So we can go down here to the highlights. So the highlights are, it has retinol in it. It's good for anti-aging. It's good for dullness. Then it tells us what's not in it. So there's no parabens and it's fragrance free. So those are two good things, right? Then I go down to the ingredient list. Quite often they will sort of point out the active ingredients at the top here, but you have to keep going. You have to look at the ingredient list. So what I should point out back up here is that this product is $70. So this is not a cheap product, right? After taxes in Canada, anyway, it's almost going to be $100 for this, right? So it's a lot of money. So let's take a peek at these ingredients. The first ingredient is water. That's pretty common. Keep in mind when the first ingredient is water in any product, they're going to have to put in a lot of preservatives to make sure it doesn't go bad. Next is glycerin. That is an inactive ingredient. Then we have butylene glycol and pentylene glycol. These are relatively harmless ingredients. It's not great that they're so high up on the ingredient list. I should mention, just like your food, whatever is the first ingredient has the most quantity. A lot of us here do not have degrees in chemistry, and it's almost impossible to know what any of this is. I've been in the skincare industry for 15 years, and my mind is still boggled constantly by these chemical names. And they keep changing too. What I'm going to do is I am going to pick an ingredient that sort of looks a little suspect to me. Let's go to this disopropyl product here. We're going to copy it. And then you want to open ewg.org/skin deep. And then I'll take you to this page here. And this is where we're going to search our ingredients. You can paste your ingredient in there and then give it a search. Sometimes a whole bunch of ones come up because there are so many variations of chemicals sometimes that there'll be multiple names. So I always find the one that best matches the name that I searched. Right off the hop, you see it does have a toxicity score of 1. But again, I always go deeper because just because something isn't toxic doesn't mean that it's good. Meaning, is it actually going to take care of the concern I have with my skin? Is it an active ingredient? So, okay, bonus, this isn't toxic according to EWG. Now I want to look at functions. The first word is a plasticizer. I'm not very thrilled about that. It's a skin conditioning agent, emollient, solvent, plasticizer and skin conditioning. Not thrilled about that. So let's scroll down. Anytime I see the word plastic in any shape or form in my skincare, I'm like, no thanks. I don't want my skin to falsely feel plastic. I want it to actually be healthy from the inside out. Let's look at some concerns here down here. It says risk assessment method deficiencies and data gaps. So I would read this. If you wanted to dive even further, you could Google these studies. For me personally, I don't need to go any further. I know it's not a natural, it's a chemical product ingredient. It's a plasticizer. So I'm like, let's look at this 4T ingredient here, this butyl cyclohexanol. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to take it back into my EWG functions. Masking and perfuming. Again, what is it actually doing for my skin? What are you masking and then perfuming so it gives it a smell? So it's an ingredient that boosts smell. So I am not thrilled about that. If you scroll down, it says suspected to be an environmental toxin. And then it says here, the Environment Canada Domestic Substance List. So no thanks. Like already you can see we've looked up 2 ingredients and they're not great. They're not active ingredients. Like water is not an active ingredient and neither is glycerin. Neither are these. That's a peptide there. So that's one of the ingredients that they're advertising. Hydropollinate. Like let's look up this hydropollinate and see what this is. So you can see how you can actually do this quite quickly. Once you get good at it, it doesn't take very long. So let's look at the function. Hair conditioning agent, skin conditioning agent, miscellaneous hair conditioning and skin conditioning. Here's retinol. Here's the other active ingredient. Look at how much stuff. So you have your peptide here, and then you have your retinol here. And then look at all of this other stuff that's not active. They're fillers. They're fillers, emulsifiers, and ingredients put in there for the texture. Like it's crazy. Here we have soybean oil. Okay, so now we're going down to some active ingredients. Let's look at this sorbitan laurate. What you can see is happening. So you can see these other versions of this chemical have a very high toxicity level. So that's really interesting. That's a red flag to me. Let's see what the function is. Again, it's a surfactant. It's an emulsifier. Personally, I want to see plant-based active ingredients. Maybe you don't even care if they're plant-based. Even if you don't care about it being plant-based, there are still very few active ingredients in this product. I don't think it's worth $70. Now I want to show you a product line that is in line with my values personally, and that is full of active ingredients so you can see the difference, because some of us may think this is all we have to choose, and it's actually not the case. There are lots of skincare lines out there that you're paying for what you get, that you're actually paying for active ingredients. You're actually paying for healthy, plant-based whole food ingredients, right? I picked Laurel. So this is the product line I personally use. I absolutely love it. It's called Laurel Slow Farmed Skincare. This product is $80. Let's look at the ingredient list. The first ingredient is jojoba oil. Notice there's no water. Laurel does this on purpose, so they do not have to put preservatives in your product. Then we have sesame seed oil, macadamia nut oil, almond oil, cranberry seed, red raspberry, tamanu oil, rosehip fruit, sea buckthorn, rosemary, house-made whole plant extracts of passion flower, licorice, calendula, chamomile, echinacea, yarrow, on and on and on. I can read and understand every single ingredient on this. And I happen to know that these are all active ingredients. Every single ingredient in this is active. And on top of that, it's organically grown, which means there's no pesticides, which means this company loves the environment. So this company falls in line with my personal values. There are other lines that have a lot of active ingredients. Okay, so let's just summarize really quickly. When you are searching up a skincare line to see if it is a line you want to invest your hard-earned money in, you want to always research the serum of that product line. That is the product that is going to hopefully have the highest active ingredients. Next, you're going to look at the full ingredient list. You want to see and seek out the active ingredients that you can find and see where they are on the list. If the active ingredients are way at the bottom, then there isn't very much of it in that product. For ingredients where you're like, I have no clue what this is, you want to highlight the ingredient, copy it, go over to ewg.org/skindeep, and then search the ingredient. From there, you want to go to EWG. You want to look at the functions and see what it is and whether or not it actually does something for the skin. Does it nourish, hydrate, heal? Then you can look down and look at the concerns and you can sort of poke around. And you can do that until you're able to make an educated choice as to whether or not you want this product. Okay, everyone. So I really, really hope that this has been educational and helpful for you so that you have the knowledge and the information that you need to pick out your own product. I am so excited for all of you. Thank you.